All right, man. Yes. It's just me. I'm here all alone. I don't know where my people are. Everybody's off work. Listen, 8 days a week. 8 fucking days. That is how I became a multimillionaire as a blue-collar worker. I didn't go to college. I don't have a certificate. I'm not a lawyer, stock trader. I'm not qualified to do anything but drive a fucking car. That is about it. And yet, I pushed my intent into the world and built my little kingdom. And I see myself as a king running my world. And it's my obligation as a man to expand the kingdom and to protect the kingdom. It's not my obligation to self-serve, to be selfish, worry about myself, my own entertainment, as I see a lot of men today doing, worried about themselves, more worried about vacation and resting and all that bullshit than they are taking care of their kingdom, okay? And that is a big concern to me. Today, I'm out of breath because I'll be honest, I'm shooting this because I got a little mad, man. I got a little mad today. I try to do some videos. You follow me on Telegram. I got some people over there. It's all free. I put out some stuff, put out some videos, show me out partying. I like to party, man. I like to work hard and I like to party. I work every fucking day because I'm trying to get rich. And here's the difference. People that don't understand that's because you're working shitty jobs you don't really like. The reason you need to go on vacation is you need a fucking break from what you do. I like what I do. I really do. The thing that drives me crazy is all the people around me because they can't maintain the level that I maintain. They're not as passionate as I am, and that's okay because everyone around me eats off of me. When I enter the room is more prosperous. I am a good news merchant. I'm an ambassador of prosperity, man. That's the way I see myself. And there are people that may bother. So today, I was shooting some videos. This is my homework board for the money flow for 2/18/24 as we go into the week. I want to prosper. I don't want to, a lot of people, you're too busy. Weekends are for getting rich, not for playing with yourself, not for fucking off, okay? This does not take that much time. And sometimes I'll hear guys make excuses, this and this. All bullshit. You could spend a fucking hour and do your homework. So that's what this is all about. Just start scanning it. You'll see where I talk about growth stocks and the B&B. And there's going to be some videos this week, probably on the podcast. And I'm going to drop some shorts talking about this stuff on homework. But I needed to clear my mind because I went live and there was no sound. And I talked for 10 minutes like a complete dipshit. And there's no sound. And yet I got adults all around me. 5 adults resting while I'm trying to get rich. And a lot of them eat off of me. And so I had to calm down because they can't be me. Not everybody can be 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Not everyone has a desire. They might want to be rich, but they don't have a desire to push every day. They're not going to just turn on the camera and be like, hey, turn that camera on, man. Let's go. Yes. Hey, Gerald Peters, welcome back to the channel. You get what I'm saying? That is something that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to push. And through that process, like what happened to me, you're going to get mad. You're going to get upset. And somehow, you got to calm yourself and get back, man. And that's really hard for me. And so I started reading in The Science of Getting Rich. I hope you have this book. I read it every day. Every fucking day. Because I'm trying to memorize it. Because the older I get, more and more, this wisdom has shown true. And this has been a great guide for me. This has been my Bible. Chapter 8, and if you listen to I do 2 podcasts. One called the Money Flow Trading Society's podcast, Mastering the Trade. And number 2, over on Apple, is my Mindset podcast on the Science of Getting Rich. A lot of people ask me to keep doing those. Truth is, there ain't no money in podcasting, to be honest. That's just me talking. And if you appreciate it, I love it. And, I get a comment here and a comment there. But as a guy, it takes hours to produce these things and to put it out. And I like doing it. But, you also got to realize that time is the most valuable thing. Time times amount times yield. And this, if you do this board, and we're going to talk about it this week, and you do it 52 times this year, man, I swear you know so much about the stock market. It'll be unbelievable. And if you stay with me another year, Every week, a new homework. Every week, studying your stocks. Every week, looking for trade setups. Every week, tracking your dividends. In 52 weeks, man, you're going to be 10 foot tall. Chapter 8 is entitled Thinking in a Certain Way. And you know, I have this idea on the 9 thoughts on getting rich and the 10 pillars. And the pillar number 1, how you think is everything. And on the 9 thoughts, getting rich is simple. It's just not easy. Those are both saying basically the same thing. In this book, Science of Getting Rich, chapter 8 says, turn back to chapter 6 and read again the story of the man who formed a mental image of his house. And you will get a fair idea of the initial step toward getting rich. You must form a clear and definitive mental image of what you want. You cannot transmit the idea unless you have it. That's what part of this is about. There's only 3 ways to get rich. Own a business. You do or you fucking don't. Number 2, invest in other people's businesses. That's what this is. Number 3 is real estate. And we're in real estate. This is one of my 3 houses for myself. And then I own a bunch of rentals. And this is a way to park money as well. We're not getting into that today. You must have it before you can give it. Remember, Jesus said it's better to give than to receive. Well, fuck, man, you got to have it first. And many people fail to impress thinking substance because they have themselves only a vague and misty concept of the things they want to do, to have, and to become. One of the things I say all the time is you have everything you need inside of you to have more, to do more, and to be more, and definitely to become more. I believe that with all my heart, okay? It is not enough that you should have a general desire for wealth or to do good with. Everybody has that desire. It is not enough that you should have a wish to travel, see things, and live more. Everybody has those desires. If you were going to send a wireless message to a friend, you would not take the letters of the alphabet in a random order and let him reconstruct the message for himself. You would send a coherent sentence, one which meant something when they read it. And when you try to impress thinking substance, remember that it must be done in a coherent form. Well, what is thinking substance? Turn back to chapter 4. This is the bomb chapter right here. Listen to this. Chapter 4 starts with thought is the only power which can produce tangible riches from formless substance. Now, what is formless substance? The stuff from which all things is made is a substance which thinks, and a thought of form in this substance produces the form. Don't let this poetic, flowery language throw you off, okay? Don't let it do that. Original substance moves according to its thoughts. Every form and process you see in nature is the visible expression of original thought, of original substance. Now stay with me. As this formless stuff thinks of a form, it takes that form. As it thinks of motion, it makes that motion. That is the way all things were created. We live in a thought world, which is part of a thought universe. The thought of a moving universe extended throughout formless substance, and the thinking stuff moving according to that thought took the form of the system of planets and maintains that form. Now, don't get lost in there. You have to read it. He's basically describing, if you've ever read the Bible, he's basically describing that process of that everything first is a thought, okay? So, before a house is built, you're going to hear him say that. That's what he's talking about. Well, we got to think about it. And they're like, okay, I want a house. You keep thinking about it. Okay, well, what's the next step? Is my credit. I need credit, right? So you're still thinking about the house. You're thinking, okay, I got to fix my credit. Okay, I'm going to need money. You're still thinking about it. And the more you think about it, and you begin to take action, and you'll keep holding the thought. And guess what? The universe is friendly to your plans. It'll start to happen. But hold on, this is where it gets important. Thinking substance takes the form of its thought and moves according to the thought. Holding is an action word. Holding the idea of a circling systems of suns and worlds. It takes the form of these bodies and moves them as it thinks. You're going to get why he's saying it this way. Thinking the form, okay, here we go. Thinking the form of a slow-growing oak tree, it moves accordingly and produces the tree. though centuries may be required. What else is required? Time times amount times yield. What else is required? Compounding. What else is required? Time to build your skills to trade, okay? So he's saying, listen, things take time. It took time, okay? Those centuries may be required to do the work in creating, the formless seems to move according to the lines of motion it has established. The thought of an oak tree does not cause the instant formation of an oak tree. I mean, just thinking it isn't going to cause it. But it does start in motion. Motion, another verb, another action word like holding, okay? Motion, the forces which will produce, another action word, the tree, along established lines of growth. What's another established line of growth? Compounding. Time times amount times yield. What's another established line of growth? Finding a beat up house, putting 20% down, fixing it up, building out sweat equity, putting together a lease, putting it up for rent, putting a tenant in. These are established lines of growth that already work. The money flow, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, established lines of growth. The thought of a house of a certain construction, if it were impressed, another word, hold, motion, produce. Now we're saying press. You hear me talk about pressing my intent on the universe. A thought of a house of a certain construction, if it were impressed upon formless substance, might not cause the instant formation of the house, but it would cause the turning, like holding, pressing, producing, motion. Now we're saying turning. Notice all these action words, okay? Turning the creativity, energies already working, meaning it's already been set up for you guys. The stock market's already here. We already know that stocks go up 70% of the time. We already know that. We know that. So these lines have already been established. All we have to do is impress ourselves, hold our thought in formless substance, and believe, but make it coherent. This is an example of a coherent message to the universe that you actually give a fuck and want to build wealth. That's what this is a coherent message to the universe into formless substance that, hey, I care. I want to do the best I can this week, okay? And then it says, and if there are no existing channels through which the creative energy could work, then the house would be formed directly from primal substance without waiting for the slow process of the organic world. Man, it's like, hey, if there ain't no lines already, we'll make our own. Bitcoin, okay? Man is a thinking center and can originate thought. All forms of a man's fashions, all forms that man fashions with his hands must first exist in his thoughts. And he cannot shape a thing until he has thought of the thing. I did a one-on-one with a gentleman. Maybe you're listening. And we talked about, he was wanting to get involved in the stock market. And I asked him, what do you read? What do you watch? What are you doing right now? None of those things were the stock market. He doesn't read financial news, doesn't follow the stock market, doesn't have a brokerage account. He hasn't impressed. He has no motion, no creativity. He's not holding thought. There is no fucking thought. So what do you think the chances of him ever being successful at this if he doesn't take thought and add it with these action type words? And it's going to take a minute. And so he's trying to jump ahead and get the results of someone who would start this process. Does that make sense? And so it starts with a thought, man. Everything starts with a thought. We're going to end with it. Let's see. Where can we end? What's a good spot to end? Go over to your desires just as the man I have described. You can go back and read in chapter 6 how that went down. And he goes, that clear mental picture you must have continually in your mind as a sailor has in mind the port toward which he is sailing the ship. You must keep your face toward it all the time. Do your homework all the time. If you live a life where life itself, chores, activities, family, all of that comes first. If everything else comes first, and your investing and your trading come last, when you get to the end and you don't have that much, you will have no one to blame but yourself. Now, you may say, oh, this happened to me, and that happened to me, and that happened to me. But the truth is, you never held thought and formless substance. You never committed to the process. You never made it first and foremost in your life. And listen, if you want to be a trader, you have everything you need. Man, it goes on to say, if two or more people believe in the same thing, there is power. There's power, man. That's what the MFG is all about. The Money Flow Trading Society is me and you agreeing for your prosperity and mine. And by me committing to you, you committing to the process. And together, we can build wealth, man. That's what this is all about, man. Hold that thought and formless substance, man. Get into the book, The Science of Getting Rich. Do your fucking homework. You can do it. You have everything you need to be more, to do more, and to have more. I know, man. Hey, my name is Gerald Peters. If you don't have my free ebook, hit my link at the bottom and let me help you out. Go to geraldpeters.info. I'm not even going to edit this motherfucker. I'm just going to put it on YouTube and be watching as I'm going to break down doing some homework this week, okay? God bless. All right, man. Yes. Thanks for making it to the end, indulging me, get my mind back on track. Hey, last week was Mardi Gras. Big shout out to all the MFG that came to visit, came to see me. People I met in the crowd who recognized me. Warms my heart. If there's anything I can do for you, you just let me know. God bless.